It's an especially touching year for me this year. 3 out of the 4 students are the class that have started with us as freshmen and are graduating with us today. So they're our founding class of 2017. So it's, I'm going to try to speak very little because if I speak more, I'm going to cry. And I'm going to hurry and give this mic to Dr. Gallagher. But before I do that, I do want to recognize our students for their accomplishments. Mackenzie, here you are. Mackenzie, I'm an artist, and I can't recall the last time I met a student who was a master. Enough said. You're going to shine, I have no doubt. I'm going to leave you last. Neil, where are you? Oh my gosh, Neil, I've known you and your family for so long. And just all the accomplishments this year, I'm so proud of you. I'm just speechless. I know you're going to go great places. You're very ready. What you did in terms of your presentations led by your father at the Association of Physics Teachers and with your friends as well, Josh and everyone else, is incredible. The publication in the Science Journal, all your accomplishments, I'm just super impressed. And all your dual enrollment classes this year, you're super ready. I have no doubt. Josh, konnichiwa. I don't know what to say to Josh. You're incredible. You're going to go far, far beyond, and I'm going to try not to say too much because there's someone special today introducing you, so I'm not going to steal the spotlight. But I do want to recognize Josh was the receiver of the UCF Provost Scholarship. And everything he does, Josh is super impressive. So I'm going to leave all the rest for his presenter. Sam? It's going to be different at Socrates without all of you. And Sam, you've been with me for a long time. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next year. I'm just so glad that you're going to Rollins. That means you're going to be at Socrates every day. 8:30 in the morning. We'll give you 30 minutes. You can come in 30 minutes late. Please put your hands together for Sam as well. He was the receiver of the Alphonse Scholarship, a full-ride scholarship to Rollins. And then I would like to thank all the parents here, especially the parents of our graduates, because you entrusted your kids to us, and that is a super big privilege. We do not take it lightly, and we love you for it. I love you for it because you've expanded my family. Thank you so very much. I am a little bit more emotional tonight than any other night because of the special moment with, our students who have started with us and are graduating with us today. It is really touching for me, so bear with me a second here. I want to start with special recognition right now. I want to recognize our board of directors, Dr. Neil Gallagher. Monica Donaldson, John Razor, Cindy Griffin. Are you going to John Major? Huh? Rob Major. Did I say John Major? I don't know, it just sounded better. I want to thank Dr. Gallagher. He was talking about friendship earlier. He was saying that it's hard to find really good friends. And I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart. He founded the school with me, along with others. Unlike anyone else, he kept his hand in mine, and we got to this moment. He is a true friend and a true mentor, and I am very appreciative for you, Dr. Gallagher. I'm very proud of you as a father, too. Congratulations for Neil. The second person I'd like to recognize tonight is Miss Moran. She is here. She here? Stand up, Miss Moran, so we can see you. Miss Moran was one of the first families that joined Socrates. She had to relocate to Maryland, but her heart stayed here. She has not missed any graduations so far, so she flies down to attend our graduations. And she as well is a very special mom. This year they created a video, and I'm sure she can tell a little bit more about that when things are done here and you guys are chit-chatting. Ask her about it. She's telling the story of her son and his success. It's called Jack's Story. And Miss Moran was kind enough to acknowledge Socrates' prep in that video and the role that Socrates played in Jack's story. We are forever grateful to you, Miss Moran, for spreading our mission wherever you go and for the opportunity you've given us to be a part of Jack's story. I want to thank somebody who's not here tonight, but you guys will give her word, Mrs. Chrissy Meredith and Mrs. Chelsea. They help our students with soft skills. Learning soft skills is paramount, especially in today's society. I know Dr. Isa Batarsi talked about how important it is to get along with each other and being able to be good partners at work. So I want to give her thanks for all the hard work. I would also like to announce a couple of promotions this year. Christina, stand up, please. I know you hate the spotlight. Well, you don't hate the spotlight, but kind of. Christina must have the biggest heart of anyone I know. She is, I don't know, she's the best mentor for the kids. I mean, she doesn't even think about it. She just does it. And this year, the help that she's put in, whether it's with yearbook or talking to the kids or helping them find their direction, she's absolutely brilliant. She was born to take the hands of our young generation and lead them forward. So I'm very proud of you, Christina, and she will be taking over the role of Director of Admissions and Student Services next year. The second promotion is for a lady that truly held my hand this entire year, and without her, I couldn't have done a lot of things that I needed to do. And this is when I learned of her paramount leadership skills and administrative skills. Mrs. Vicki Branham, stand up. Mrs. Vicki Branham is going to be our new principal next year. Her heart of gold and her passion, I know she's going to be a great leader. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be there. Just one hat down. All right. I also want to bid farewell to a few people that will be leaving us this year, well, next year. Miss Lynette Melendez, is she here? She's not here yet? Okay. Well, Miss Lynette has a beautiful big heart. In the time that she was at Socrates, she was loved by everybody, and she found a way to touch everyone's heart. She was Innovative Teacher of the Year last year, and for family reasons and other reasons, she will need to leave Socrates, but Socrates will forever be her home. So we thank you, Ms. Lynette. We bid you farewell. Also, Mr. Peter. Hi, Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter started with us, and his goal this year was to make math connoisseurs out of everyone he taught. And you did such a wonderful job, Mr. Peter. His professional direction is taking him somewhere else, but he will forever have a home with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Mr. Colton Woodard, is he here? No? Oh my gosh. All right, well, you're going to be jealous of this, Josh. Colton is going to Japan. He told you? In January, Mr. Colton, who taught everyone, the best sensei in the world, he taught everyone how to chop blocks and do other karate stuff and other things. Everyone's going to miss him. He's the dearest teacher of everybody. He might be with us for the first semester and might be leaving for second semester. But we also bid him farewell and thank him for everything he did for Socrates. And last but certainly not least, a lady that I've met a long time ago, and she's given me the privilege of teaching her daughter and loving on her and seeing her through school. She's a friend of mine. She joined us a year and a half ago, and her professional endeavors are also taking her other places. But we will miss her. The time she was there, she was an exceptional leader and motivator and administrator. And in that, I'm going to put her on the spot, even though she does not like to be on the spot. And the programs in front of you do not say the name of the award she's about to receive. I would like you to stand up, Ms. Sabina Lammy, and come forward. Sorry, I had to hide it from her because she sees everything. I am giving you, Ms. Sabina, the award in recognition of your exceptional professional talent. We're very miss you. Okay. You can't stay free. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to end with this, and I'm going to give the mic back to Dr. Gallagher so he can present his awards and the award of Volunteer of the Year.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, I've got several awards here that I want to present, and I'm trying to figure out the best logistics for doing that. I think I'm going to get up here, and I'm going to sort of call people up here. First I'll say what the award is, and then I'll call all the people who are receiving it. Okay, now, some of you are familiar with the accomplishments of our robotics team. And FTC team 11355. This was their first year. They're all novices at robotics. When they started, some of them didn't know which way to turn a screw in order to tighten it. And they put in a tremendous effort. And by the end of the year, they won 2 very significant awards. They were in the Space Coast League. And in the Space Coast League, they won the control. Well, first I'll say they got second place, the Rockwell Collins Innovator Award, which is an award for overall engineering. I can read a long paragraph here to tell you what it is about, but I'll spare you that. They won first place in the Control Award, which is the award for having the best programming and software using sensors on the robot. And out of Jerry Fair did the calculation, another friend. Jerry, there are 175 FIRST Robotics, FIRST Tech Challenge teams in Florida. And the robot that these guys built, when you counted up the scores that were attributed to the quality of the robot, out of 175 teams, their robot was number 6 in the state. So this first award is going to be, I'm going to be giving to the people who played some role in our FIRST Robotics team. And so if you guys could come up, Josh Fair, Neil, Brandon, Connor, and Laura. I've got another award. I think some of you, I don't know, we've got, I think most of you are going to get multiple awards. Why don't you just stand here?
I know, so we can take pictures.
Okay. Now, over the past 2 years, we've had students working on a couple of different projects. And sort of the culmination of these projects was I took them to the American Association of Physics Teachers meeting. Last year we went to the meeting in New Orleans. This year went to the meeting in Atlanta. And several students gave presentations. And this wasn't like your normal science fair, not to put down science fairs, but this was a meeting where most of the presentations were given by university professors. And the students I'm going to name here have all given presentations, and I have to tell you that I actually was amazed, maybe even stunned is the word, at the quality of their presentations. They gave up nothing to the professors who were giving presentations. They did a great job. And we've got Jason, Brandon, Josh, Neil, Laura, and Nick Fair. They gave a total of 8 presentations. Okay. So, here we have, so you're not around anymore, you're too much fun. Maybe it's good that you're not here. The next award, just take it. Don't go to the 2 years ago, you guys know Pi Day, right? And something that didn't exist when I was a kid at school because pi hadn't been discovered yet. And but Pi Day comes around, and 2 years ago, I gave the students a challenge, and I told them that I wanted them to find some way of computing the number pi that hadn't been discovered yet. And so they started working on it, and indeed they came up with about 3 completely original novel ways of doing it, and they published a paper in a math journal. Referee, they were sent the paper, they wrote the paper, they spent a lot of time writing the paper, sent it into the journal, they sent it out as reviewed by mathematics professors in universities, and then they published the paper. Big deal. And so all the students who participated in that process in some way got Josh Fair, Neil, Mara, Nick, you're back here, Nick, Jason, Brandon, and Sam Conkle. I tried to be very careful, make sure I got the right number of things here, so here's Ann. So watch these things, they're going to fall out on you. Nick. We got 2 awards already. And you weren't here then, so I should do this again. If anybody wants, I can give you the web link to the journal paper. They published it in a journal published by SciAm. It's a professional society of mathematicians called the Society of Industrial and Applied Mathematics. Now, I've got 2 more awards to give right now, and everybody but Mara can sit down. And this is a bit of my self-indulgence. When Neil Narwani came in and started working with our students, Neil worked for Microsoft at one time, and he was always coming in with various problems and brain teasers or whatever for the students to solve. And probably the one that was the most difficult, out of all the students and faculty of the school, only one person figured out the solution to the problem. And that was Mara. And let me tell you what the problem is so you can puzzle on it. And when you give up, you can ask Mara how to do it. You're standing outside a door that leads to a room with 3 lamps, each using an ordinary light bulb. Each light bulb is controlled separately by one of 3 switches on the wall next to the closed door outside the room. You can turn the switches on or off as you please, but cannot see the light bulbs in the room. After finishing with the switches, you open the door and enter the room to observe the light bulbs. Without controlling the switches again, how can you tell which switch controls each light bulb? So Mara, this for you, but don't sit down yet. Let's see. There it is. Okay, now, some of us, as we go through our lives, are sometimes confronted with profound challenges. And how we respond to those challenges can affect the direction of the rest of our life. For some people, the challenges might be medical challenges. For some people, they're self-imposed challenges, such as becoming an Olympic athlete. Or like a good friend of mine from my days back at Purdue, who a few years ago climbed Everest. And so that's what I want to talk about right now. 2 years ago, Mara got sick. And she was taking medicine for it. And the medicine did something very cruel to her. It caused her to have a drug reaction, which only 1 out of 100,000 people who take the medicine actually get. And it was called DRESS syndrome. Now, for those of you who don't know, syndrome is a name that doctors give to something where they have a collection of symptoms, but they don't really know what causes it. And DRESS syndrome isn't something that goes away after a week or 2 weeks. It just keeps hitting you with something new every week, and it goes on for months. And it's fatal 20% of the time. And Mara was hit with a DRESS syndrome. And she fought it and fought it. It included organ failure. Her face swelled up like something out of a Rocky movie. She had, her whole body was covered in a rash, and her mouth and throat were covered in blisters where she couldn't eat. And she was already as thin as a pole. And it's only within about the last couple of months or so where she's actually pulled herself out of that, and she's back to the old Mara. And so I wanted to give her something to remind her not of the DRESS syndrome, but of her accomplishment in beating it. So I have a gold medal here. Okay, fat but done. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm not done. Okay. Volunteer of the Year Award. We have a lot of people who volunteer and do good work for the school and spend many hours at the school. But this past year, one truly amazing person put in hundreds of hours with our students. He coached our robotics team that I told you about. And so he was the third person on the team whose name was Neil. So we honored him. We named the team Neil Team 6. And since he spells his name differently than the other two Neils, you could tell it was for him. He spent hundreds of hours, and some weeks it was 26 hours a week, He was completely selfless in the time and effort that he put in teaching our kids. And so I'm extremely proud and happy to give to Neil Marwani, my new friend, our Volunteer of the Year Award. Okay, now I'm done. Sorry, Neil, I forgot you there for a minute.
Monica, our PTO president, is going to take the stage. I'm much better when I'm not emotional.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm not very good at public speaking, so I'll do the best that I can. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the parent volunteers that we have this year. We're a small growing school, and there's so many things to be done, and it's hard for just a few people to do all these wonderful things. So thank you, everybody, for chipping in. I'd like to recognize several special parents this evening, and when I mention your name, if you could just come up, that would be great. First parent I would like to recognize is Cindy Ann Syfax. You're welcome. Cindy Ann is always willing to step in and help out when there's a need. She helped to lead us in community service. She was responsible for organizing outreach program with the city of Winter Park so that we could have a spring cleanup day at the Howell Branch Nature Preserve. And she also helped to coordinate donations for the Hope Helps, which is one of the charities that Soc Prep is in partnership with. So we have a little something special for you. And thank you. Okay, our next volunteer that I would like to acknowledge is Mindy Marquich. Mindy has become our regular Mrs. Her knowledge and expertise have been invaluable. You're welcome. Thank you. As we've made improvements and needed repairs to our middle-aged and aging school. Thank you. Parents Rob and Kelly Wilson, wherever you are, there you are. Early in the year, the PTO identified 2 areas at the school that could use some major improvement, repaving the parking lots and upgrading the school playgrounds. Both of these projects require a significant amount of money, and Rob and Kelly have spearheaded the efforts to raise these funds by connecting us with an online program called Fundraiser. And I checked before we came, it's over $4,000. So you can go to the Soc Prep homepage and click a link to help us raise some money. And hopefully by fall we'll have at least the beginnings of the new playground. So thank you so very much. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize Donna Steinfeld. Donna could not be here tonight. She is a professional dancer as well, and she has the biggest event of the year tonight and tomorrow. So she could not be here, but she really helped out with communicating in the communications this year, and she started our newsletter and set up a group texting system so that we can keep everybody on track and informed about what's going on. So thank you again for all of your hard work, and we look forward to having more volunteers next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Monica offered all these gifts and congratulations and thanks to everybody, but I know every year she gets a little spotlight. This year she begged me not to. I'm just gonna say, please put your hand together for Monica. We won't do more than that, I promise. Okay, someone else is going to take this now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brandon Mill. I'm a sophomore in high school at Socrates Preparatory School. I'd like to begin by congratulating our 4 graduates tonight. I'm only beginning to understand how hard it is, so it's truly impressive to me. Tonight we have 2 special awards we're going to present to our incredibly talented teaching staff of Socrates Prep, the Teacher of the Year Award and the Innovative Teacher Award. The 2 recipients of these awards were voted upon by the students and the faculty of Soc Prep themselves. The Teacher of the Year Award is presented to a teacher who has displayed exemplary qualities of an educator year-round. On the other hand, an innovative teacher is one who has consistently discovered new ways to engage their students in learning. We're going to begin by presenting the Innovative Teacher of the Year Award.
You know, I never thought I would have to say this, but hopefully we can outdo the Oscars tonight.
The Innovative Teacher of the Year Award goes to
All of that.
Miss Aaron. Congratulations on your award. You are a natural born teacher, and it shows. Thank you for loving and nurturing our students. Now we're going to present the Teacher of the Year Award.
Just for you. Here, I'll hold this.
The Teacher of the Year Award goes to Kathy.
Okay, at this time, I would like to ask for all Socrates Prep students to come up to the right, my right, your left-hand side of the stage to meet Jason and Brandon. and get what you made for your parents during the week. Okay? All right, while this is going on, our students could not be successful in their educational careers without the loving support of their family, obviously. So each of our students has taken the time during this week to write down some thoughtful words expressing their gratitude for all that you, the parents, do for them. So they will be coming back to you not only with a loving hug and loving words, but written thoughts. I'll give everyone a moment to enjoy what the students have written for you, and then I would like to invite all the Socrates Prep faculty to join Miss Batten and Miss Sabina on stage to congratulate our honor roll for this year. So all Soc Prep faculty. 2016-2017 academic school year, the students have worked tirelessly inside and outside of the classroom. Each year, we award medals to the students who have exceeded the expectations in all areas. We would like to start with the students who made the honor roll this year. These students have earned either an A or a B in all their classes. I would like the students to come up to the stage as I call your name, and parents, please hold your applause until the end, okay? So first, Reese Ayers, Ryan Barchuk, Marcus Dillon, Declan Donaldson, Amani Hashim, Will Hardison, Jaden Morales, Isabella Otero, Liam Smoke, Graham Snyder, Nate Wilson, Gabriella Gilmonio, Isam Hatum, Margaret Tusky, Heavenly Otero, Connor Bramham, Devin Buffington, Jason Cannon, Neil Gallagher, Brandon Mail, and Adrian Pisteric. And this is actually my bad. These are the students who have earned A's in every single one of their classes. So these are all of our straight A students. So yeah, these are all the students that earned an A in every single one of their classes, and these are the students who got our highest honor roll and our gold medal for the year. This is a good problem to have if we cannot get medals on all of them in time, since we have so many straight A students here. All right, parents, now you can unleash all of your applause for all of our students. Congratulations, you guys. Patton, hold on. Okay, so now for the students who made the honor roll, the students who got an A or B in all classes and exceeded expectations. This is in every last class. Okay, while they're filing off, the students that I call, please come onto stage, and then parents once again hold all the applause. Mason McGee, Leo Steinfeld, Jaden Walsh, Caden Awadi, Jordan Morales, Natalie Rodriguez, Luke Syback, and Belle Howe. Okay. These students have also worked really hard and will be receiving a silver medal for our academic year. Yeah, once again, you can unleash all your applause. Okay. So the last two set of medals go to, well, the first of the last two, it would be the salutatorian medal. So the salutatorian medal goes this year to, well, this person obviously got all A's, so that's why he also would get an all A gold medal. But that would be this year Samuel James Conkle. So please join us on stage. And then our last set of medals goes to set of medals goes to the person with the highest grade point average in the entire school throughout his entire career. Obviously, our valedictorian medal also will get a straight A medal, gold medal, would be Mr. Joshua Fair. Thanks, guys. Congratulations to all the people who won medals this year. Obviously, all your hard work does come with a little bit of blame, so hopefully you keep it up for next year. All right, so now.
Hi, folks. Oh, okay. The teachers may now exit the stage because we're going to have some student speakers now. Not myself. I'm only a student introducer. So I'm up here to introduce two of our graduates. The first one who will be speaking will be Neil Gallagher III. He's on the honor roll, as you saw. He's also one of our National Honor Society members. And Samuel Campbell, the salutatorian of the class of 2017. Neil will be speaking first. I guess it goes without saying that I will be missing both of you and dearly. It will be sad to see the two of you go. I'm sure you will go far. As for you, Neil, I think you just need to keep the wise words in mind of that idiosyncratic sage. I mean Rick from Rick and Morty, in order to succeed. I was going to recite a few of those wise words, but I had a hard time finding any that were not also profuse with profanity. So, as with all things, you're just going to have to use your own best judgment in terms of what things you use to keep yourself motivated. I think there'll be no issue for you because you've always done so in the past, always found your own source of motivation in the past. So please welcome to the podium Neil C. Gallagher III.
The first three students is I, along with Hamudi, Fat and Son, and Josh Fair, the first three students to study here. Been here for 6 years. I feel that it's some sort of milestone for the last of school's first students to graduate from it. In that time, I've been an author of math journal paper. I've made 2 presentations in New Orleans and Atlanta for the American Society of Physics Teachers meetings, and learned about 3D printing and our robotics team. None of this would have been possible if Fatten and my father had not started this school. I want to thank them. Also, spasiba to Dr. Angelina, and a special thanks to Neil Narwani, who helped us immensely in our robotics efforts. I want to acknowledge the support of my parents and my sister Laura, and my friends at school.
Okay, now, as for Sam, anybody who knows him knows his preternatural work ethic. In addition to being our resident musician, he is an entrepreneur par excellence. So, I have an entrepreneurial suggestion. There's a marvelous invention, still mostly confined to Japan, as our valedictorian Josh likely knows, called the Pod Hotel. A pod hotel is just what it sounds like. It consists of an array of thermoregulated units, just big enough to fit a person in the bed inside. Japanese salarymen who do not have time to return home or to rent out a normal hotel room on weekdays will retire to these on the weekdays before returning to another 20-hour shift. I'm convinced that Sam will be a pioneer of this wondrous product as both patron and host. So please, Sam, keep in mind what I've told you on your future ventures. And don't forget to pay me royalties. Please give a warm welcome to salutatorian Sam Hall.
Well, thank you, Jason, for that heartfelt introduction. Good evening and welcome once again to our graduation ceremony. Over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to speak to students across the country about their bright futures. I share with them the value of finding someone to look up to, and I communicate the message that no matter the obstacle, no matter the challenge, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. Oftentimes, we look to heroes to inspire us. So tonight, if you would indulge me, I'd like to tell you a story about one of my heroes and how I came to that realization. It was November 18th, 1995. Itzhak Perlman, the violinist, came to stage to give a concert at the Avery Fisher Hall at Lincoln Center in New York City. If you know anything about Itzhak Perlman, chances are that you know as a child he was diagnosed with polio. And because of his condition, he has braces on both of his legs, and he walks with the aid of 2 crutches. To see him walk across the stage one step at a time is a miraculous sight. He walks painfully, yet majestically, until he reaches his chair. Then he sits down slowly, he puts his crutches on the floor, undoes the clasps on his legs. He puts one foot forward and tucks the other one behind his chair. He then bends down to pick up his violin. He places it underneath his chin. He then closes his eyes and he signals to the conductor to begin. You know, by now his audiences are used to this ritual. They sit quietly while he makes his way across the stage to his chair. They remain silent while he undoes the clasps on his legs. And then they wait until he is ready to play. But this time, something went wrong. Just as he finished the first few bars, one of the strings on his violin broke. You could hear it snap because it went off like gunfire across the room. And there was no mistaking what that sound meant. Everyone in the concert hall assumed that he would have to get up from his chair, put the clasps back on his legs, pick up the crutches, and then limp off stage to go and find another violin. But he didn't. Instead, he waited a moment. He closed his eyes, and then he signaled to the conductor to begin once again. The orchestra began, and he played where he left off. And he played with such passion, and such power, and such purity as the audience had never, ever heard before. When he finished, there was an unbreakable silence that swept across the auditorium. And then all at once the audience rose and cheered. Every person was on their feet, cheering and applauding in appreciation for what he had just done. He smiled, he wiped the sweat from his brow, and then he raised his bow in order to quiet the audience. And then he said, not boastfully, but in a quiet, pensive, and reverent tone, "You know, sometimes it is the artist's task to find out how much music you can make with what you have left." You know, what a powerful line that is. Ever since I heard this story, it has stayed in my mind. And who knows, perhaps that is the definition of life. Not just for artists, but for all of us. Here's a man who's prepared all of his life to make music on a violin of 4 strings. who all of a sudden in the middle of a concert finds himself with only 3 strings. So you know what? He makes music with those 3 strings. And the music that Itzhak Perlman made that night was more beautiful, more sacred, and more memorable than any music he had ever made before when he had 4 strings. So that is what we must do in our lives. We must first make music with what we have, and then when that is no longer possible, make music with what we have left. This evening I would like to begin by thanking each and every one of my teachers for all of the wisdom and inspiration they have given me over the past 4 years at Socrates. I would specifically like to thank Christina Vong for all of her encouragement and help, not only in the classroom, but outside as well. I would like to thank my father for his wisdom, inspiration, and encouragement. You know, to this day, I have yet to find a father that is such a big cheerleader for his children as my dad is. I myself I was pretty proud. Most importantly, I would like to thank my mom for her endless love. Sometimes it's very easy to forget how much our mother sacrificed for us, but I look past over the past years, it's become very evident that my mom has given me more than I'll ever be able to give to anyone else. So through every high and low, you've always shown me love. I'd like to thank my 7 siblings for their love and support. Lauren, Blake, Brantley, Anna, Andrew, Jackson, and Mia. I love each of you dearly. I'd like to thank my relatives who traveled over 1,400 miles to celebrate with me today. And I'd like to thank Monica Donaldson for being one of my biggest cheerleaders. Additionally, I'd like to thank Todd Shobatar for his sage counsel and gracious offerings concerning my endeavors as an author. If you think I've cried already, I'm gonna already cry after these 2. I'd like to thank Miss Maya Abdallah. Unfortunately, Maya is unable to be with us this evening. But I'd like to thank her for her guidance and wisdom during my early years at Socrates. I can remember the countless hours she spent with me discussing everything from colleges to book titles to rocks. Maya was and still is inspiration to me, not only as a scholar, but as a beautiful and kind-hearted human. And lastly, I'll get off the stage after this. I would not like to simply thank, but more specifically express my endless gratitude to a woman who has not only inspired me, but ultimately transformed my life for the better. It was 4 years ago that I met Miss Fatin Abdallah in the library of Socrates Prep. She invited me to shadow for a day, and I agreed. The next morning, I told my parents that I was not going because I was afraid I would embarrass myself in front of all the students. After playing all of their chips, my parents finally convinced me to attend that shadow day. And when I got back in the car that afternoon, I couldn't stop talking about the incredible day that I had. So this evening, I can't look at her, but I'd like to thank Eve Fatin for that first day, the 100 days that followed, and the thousands more to come. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I always do. Thank you all for coming this evening, and congratulations to the graduating class of 2017. Thank you.
Congratulations to everybody, all the graduates, all the teachers, and thank you all for being here today. Konnichiwa Jose Dushenshi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I met Josh 7 years ago when me and him were in middle school, and Josh and I became instant friends. When he was younger, he was younger than me, but everyone that knows Josh knows that he's 1,000 years older than his age. When we both went to Socrates, I remember our late night gaming days with fondness, but I don't envy anyone that goes to school with Josh. But seriously, Josh has to be from another planet completely. I've never met anyone my age that I admire more than Josh. Sorry. Yeah. I told myself I wouldn't cry. I really believe Josh can do anything, and I'm not exaggerating on that. If humanity was to finally find the answer to world peace, it would be at the hands of Josh. When Josh wants to do something, know something, and learn something, no one stands in his way, not even him. One day, the man decided he wanted to learn Japanese, and now we can watch anime without the subtitles. Something I'm actually really jealous about. Most people don't know the Josh that I know, because Josh is so smart at math and science. No one sees Josh's creative side. Those who know Josh, did you guys know that Josh can sing in Japanese, make his own cosplays, and lift the world up in one finger? I don't know how to express the spectrum of Josh's abilities, but I do know that he is the truest friend I've ever had. Josh, I will never forget your friendship. The days I tore my hair out with math problems and you came to my rescue. The days you volunteered being the victim of my bullying video project. The prank you pulled on me in art class. I'm really gonna miss you, Josh. But actually, he's not gonna let me miss him for too much. He'll be attending UCF as a recipient of the impressive Provost Scholarship. Please welcome to the podium my dear friend Josh Fair to give his valedictorian speech.
Okay, thank you, community, for that introduction to me. My high school experience has been kind of a blur. A blur, not in the sense that it has gone by quickly, but more in the sense that it just kind of all blurs together. Since the time I was in 5th grade, up until when I was in 9th grade and started attending Socrates preparatory school, I changed schools every year. Furthermore, in 11th grade, I started to dual enroll at Seminole State College and took some classes there, including over the summer. By the end of this summer, I will have 42 college credit hours taken at Seminole State. I never really had a sense of advancing from one year to the next. It was more of just a continuous track of school, which is why it all blurs together. And right now, as I stand here, it still kind of feels the same. And because of this, graduating high school doesn't really make me feel too much. However, that is just the act of graduating high school. Socrates Preparatory School, the faculty, the students, and everyone who I have met along the way still means everything to me. During my time at Socrates Preparatory School, I could discover more about what I wanted to do in life, thanks to the special opportunities that the school provides. I could have a tutor teach me Japanese, while also having that count as my class. I could work on more advanced math than if I were to go to another school. I also had many great experiences here. Although participating in the first tech challenge was tough at times, it was great competing, and I had great experiences participating in the tournaments and creating the robots together with my classmates and my mentors. And I do have some people that I would like to thank and some people that I kind of have messages for. Mr. Gallagher, you've taught me so many things, from physics to statistics to calculus, not to mention everything else that wouldn't be taught in a normal class, especially like what we learned during the robotics season. I'm really glad to have you as a teacher for many things. And Ms. Fratton, you've been a great principal and also an advisor to go to whenever I would need help with anything, or even if I just wanted to talk about an old art project that I was doing. And Colton, you were a great karate teacher, and even though I haven't really pursued karate outside of taking that class, I still had a lot of fun in the class and I enjoyed attending. And to my Japanese tutor, Kenji, I'm very thankful for him. Kenji-san, あなたがいなければ、私は今より日本語を多分習っていなくて、日本語を習うことが今より楽しくないです。学生として、友達として、あなたにとても感謝しています。And I'm grateful to the rest of the faculty in the Socrates family. And speaking of family, I'm grateful to my parents, as well as my grandparents, as well as my siblings here, for supporting me with my choices and helping me even make some choices in order for me to get here. Without everyone here, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And for the Socrates family, it isn't just the faculty that I would like to thank. The students here are also part of the Socrates family, and I'm glad to have met wonderful people. Jason, even if our pastime interests weren't the same, it was so nice being around you, and we had a lot of things that we could talk about. Sam, you are a hard worker, and I'm surprised at what you have been able to accomplish. Even if you and Jason didn't know too much, I really looked up to you guys. Laura, Neil, Mackenzie, and Brandon, you're a very fun group to be around to talk about and talk with about various things, including games, and also just joke around with. And Connor, you're an inspiration for programming, and I look up to what you've done with it, despite even being much younger than me. You've done much more than I have with programming, and I aim to be like you in that sense. And Declan, although we haven't spoken much lately, it still has been a pleasure to teach you math and a little bit of Japanese as well over the past few years. And I'm thankful for all the other students who were a part of the Socrates family and are a part of the Socrates family, because the whole family forms Socrates Preparatory School. There's someone else who I haven't spoken much with lately who is here today, and he was nice enough to give me this introduction. Hamudi, even if we also haven't spoken too much lately, you are a great friend and really were a joy to hang out with in the past. However, that does not mean we must move on and never hang out again. Graduating high school isn't the complete end of a journey, nor is it the complete beginning of a new journey. It's part of the same journey through one's life, and one where they get to decide where they want it to go. Hamudi, we should hang out more. And everyone here, this doesn't have to be the end of whatever we have. High school graduation is a time where many more new opportunities will show, but one does not have to abandon any of those opportunities of the past. We will continue our lives, but with these new opportunities, we will shape our lives how we want them and make them better for ourselves, for those close to us, and maybe the world. Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations to all of our speakers and all of our graduates. The school got together with a huge help from Mr. Hamudi over here and made a video for all of you. So.
Josh was the first person to ever really kind of reach out to me when I first came here, and I don't know, he was just a very non-judgmental person. Like, congratulations, you're graduating, and I mean, so am I.
Josh, well, I'm just here to wish you the best of luck. It's been great knowing you these 4 years, and quite frankly, you're probably the smartest person I've ever met.
Hey, Josh, this time that he's involved on the robotics and, just being here.
Josh, I learned how to say 2 things in Japanese just for you because I want you to know how impressed I am with everything you've been able to achieve, and just know that you are going to achieve even greater things in your future. So I want to try to say congratulations, omedetou gozaimasu, and good luck. Darnbara.
Congratulations, Josh, on graduating. Because first off, with robotics, you were always really calm, level-headed. You didn't freak out when you had our little time crunch. And with robotics, you were definitely an integral part of that team. That was kind of get as far as we did. I hope whatever college you go to, it's fun for you and you learn a lot. Wish you well.
you. It's been such an amazing pleasure to be part of your life this last year. You've come such a long way since I got to know you. I will miss you immensely.
Hi, Mackenzie. So this, you see this beautiful little either crocodile or alligator that you've drawn. This is you right now. You emerging from the fake world into the real world and about to be devoured by this cat. The artist always, I think, reflects his or her art, and so here you are, and I hope that I know that you're happy just like this crocodile slash dog.
Betsy, I miss you a lot.
What I remember about Betsy is she always brought human passion. I just miss that when she's gone, and what I have to say is good luck.
Hello, Kenzie. Congratulations on graduating. There's not a lot of people, actually there's 0 people, no, 1 person like you at this school, which is you. And I think your personality really shows in your art, whatever you draw and stuff. And speaking of your art, I hope you pursue something with that, because I think you're really talented.
Mackenzie, I don't know what we're going to do without your sweet face and sweeter hugs around here next year. You're going to be very missed. But I just want to wish you all the joy and happiness and good luck in your future. And more than anything, just want you to believe in yourself and believe in your talent and your abilities. And I know you're going to go far. Good luck to you, honey.
Sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had the better voices and some.
Congratulations, Neil. I heard you're graduating. I'll always miss you looking into random windows and creeping out most of the classes. That was charming. I'm really proud of you. I mean, like, you already know that. I mean, like, people are always proud of you. You did a really good job. You take all those college courses. I mean, like, I'd be crying if I only took one. Hope you have fun with your future travels. Have fun.
Neil!
Every time I talk about him, I smile because he's probably the best thing that's happened to this school, in my opinion. Him graduating is kind of like a hole in my heart because he's really important to me. I just can't imagine next year without him. Good luck, Sam. Congratulations.
Sam, first of all, I want to thank you for all you taught me this year and the experience that you've given me, including leadership skills and introducing me to the school when I first came here. Over time, we've become really good friends, and I'm so thankful for it. The example that I needed when I first came here, and because we're always challenging each other, you've made me a stronger person. Thank you for all the nights out and the concert experiences, and letting me see the cello, and letting me bring my friends, and the laughs. I love you, I know you're going to go far, and we're all just lucky to have you.
Congrats, Sam. I'm going to miss you so much, and I can't wait until you come to visit, and it's not gonna be the same without you.
Hi folks, I'm Jason Kennison. We're here to wish my dear friend and musician, scholar, connoisseur, and entrepreneur, Samuel James Tampa, the best of luck on his journey to Rollins College by means of the full ride out-of-bond scholarship and beyond.
Congratulations, Sam. I'm honored to be part of this moment in your life.
It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you over the last year and a half, and I wish you an incredible journey over the next 7,095 days. I can see the eye signs already, can't you? Daniel Conco for President 2036.
What a hard thing to come up with something to say to the young man who has everything, knows everything, including where he's going in his future. So I think my best advice to you is to not be afraid to take time for yourself and to slow down and not be afraid to fail occasionally. Thanks so much for your mistakes. Don't be afraid of those mistakes. Use them to help yourself grow and gain even greater heights in your future. I'm incredibly proud of you, and I'm so proud to have been your teacher this year.
Sam, Josh, Neil, and Mackenzie, congratulations on graduating high school and beginning the next chapter of your life. I wish you the best success. Advice. So advice for me is to go to college, do your best, stay focused, and just go right for your dreams. Don't take any breaks. Take the fast road and begin that next chapter of your life. And best of luck. Wish you success. Thank you.
An absolute awesome evening here. And it's no thanks to the students who actually come here. And there are 4 very amazing people graduating today. So Sam, Neil, Josh, Mackenzie, I wish you good luck and remember the future kids.
Josh, Sam, Neil, and Mackenzie, watch out world. Well, I want to thank your parents first and foremost for entrusting you to our care at Socrates and allowing us the privilege of seeing you through the many years until we got to this point. I'm so very proud of each and every one of you. Josh, you have incredible intellect, but what's going to take you the furthest is the one thing that I witnessed you discover all these years, and it's your love for learning. And I know that's going to be your key to success. Sam, in all my years of knowing students, I have not met anyone that has as much work ethic and perseverance and want to succeed as much as you. And I know that you are going to rock the world. Neil, goodness, I've had the privilege of being with you and your family for several years, and I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of the progress and all that you've discovered in yourself, especially the past year. And I know you're going to move on into the world, and you're going to find that special thing that's going to ignite everything for you. Mackenzie, oh, Mackenzie, you are by far the most talented artist I have ever met. And I know that one day, and everyone should heed my warning in this room, you should all get yourself an autograph from Mackenzie, because she is going to be the next Walt Disney. I just want to say congratulations to all of you, and go out there and get it. You guys are ready. Congrats, class of 2017.
Alright, welcome back. I think the video shows that you guys will be missed by pretty much every nook and cranny of Socrates Prep. So, time to get on with the task at hand. I'd like to invite all the Soc Prep faculty back up onto the stage to award the diplomas. All right, awesome. Presenting the graduates of the 2016-2017 Socrates Preparatory School academic year. We have Mr. Joshua Fair. Mr. Neil Gallagher. Mr. Samuel James Conkle. And of course, Ms. Mackenzie Rodriguez.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, Socrates Preparatory School, I give you our graduating class of 2017.
Thank you, faculty and staff. Please go back to your seats. Thank you so much. All right, in closing the evening, I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to thank everybody for coming here tonight and congratulate our students for their awards and for their achievements, and congratulate class of 2017. We will be, yeah, you've noticed there were a lot of tears, a lot of words that couldn't be spoken correctly, a lot of emotions, and it's been a long evening.